When you buy something on credit, who is actually making the money? Every time you swipe a card for something you can't afford in cash, you are actively funding a financial institution's growth at the exact expense of your own. This diagram illustrates exactly how that happens. You buy a TV for a sticker price of $1,500, but if you finance it and carry a balance, a standard 20% interest rate turns that exact same TV into a $2,200 purchase. You are paying a $700 penalty just for the privilege of owning it today. To stop paying those penalties, you have to sever your reliance on credit cards when things go wrong. The immediate defense is building a $1,000 emergency fund in cash. That creates a firm financial barrier between a broken alternator and your credit card balance. You build that cash barrier through microsaving. Set up an automatic transfer of just $1 to $5 a day from your checking to your savings. If you skip a coffee, move that $5 over manually. If you find a $10 bill, deposit it immediately. To maintain that habit, draw a grid on a whiteboard and color in a block for every $20 you save. Checking off that physical progress delivers a quick hit of dopamine, turning an act of restriction into an act of immediate, visible reward. You cannot build a fortune while actively bleeding cash to high-interest debt. Getting that cash buffer in place and neutralizing bad compound interest is the mandatory first step before real growth is even mathematically possible. But saving $5 a day will not make you rich. Once your cash shield is built, you have to pivot from defensive hoarding to aggressive cash flow generation. This flowchart breaks down the math of offensive earning. If you create something that sells for $100, you don't need 1 million customers. You only need to make 4 sales a day, 5 days a week, and you have built yourself a 6-figure annual income. That $100 item is your core product. It is the primary entry-level service or good your business sells to bring new buyers in the door. You don't even have to build that product alone in a dark room. You can use a curated product model. That means you host a live session teaching a skill, invite experts, and sell seats to the recording. You get paid to create the product in real time. Then you stabilize that income by turning a one-off sale into a continuity offer. By providing ongoing value, like a monthly newsletter or access to a membership group, that single $100 transaction becomes $100 every single month, stacking predictable, recurring revenue. If creating digital assets sounds terrible, you can apply this exact same math to physical goods. Go to local garage sales exactly 30 minutes before they close. Sellers are exhausted and desperate to pack up, making them highly willing to accept steep discounts on bulk items that you can later resell. When you list those items online, take well-lit photos against a clean background and write titles that match exactly what buyers search for. Clear, optimized presentation routinely commands $10 to $20 more per item than a sloppy listing of the exact same product. Earning a high income does not require a massive corporation or venture capital. It relies entirely on executing a mathematically consistent system of small, low-friction transactions. This active market display represents exactly where your profits need to go next. Leaving generated cash in a standard bank account guarantees a loss of purchasing power over time to inflation, making the stock market a mandatory vehicle for your money. The most reliable way to participate is through a total market index fund. This is a single financial instrument that gives you fractional, broad ownership across thousands of publicly traded U.S. companies all at once. This graph shows a 30-year projection of a $500 monthly investment, exposing a massive hidden danger: expense ratios. The top line represents a fund with a tiny 0.03% fee. The bottom line is a fund charging a 1% management fee. Over 3 decades, that fractional difference costs you over $100,000 in lost growth. You sidestep this trap by buying specific, low-cost instruments. Funds like Fidelity's FXAIX or Vanguard's VOO charge near zero fees, ensuring your returns stay in your account instead of paying a fund manager's salary. After selecting a fund, set your brokerage account to automatically buy shares every single time you get paid. This completely removes your emotions from the equation and guarantees you buy consistently regardless of what the market is doing. By continuously deploying cash into low-cost index funds, you take the exact same mathematical force that suffocates people in credit card debt, flip it in your favor, and turn passive wealth into a mathematical certainty. The speaker in this photo, Robert Kiyosaki, defined wealth simply as the ultimate ability to live forward without worrying about money today. Securing that absolute level of financial independence does not require a lottery ticket or a rare stroke of genius. It is a predictable, deeply boring formula of saving, earning, and investing. To start the formula, execute step 1 right now. Transfer exactly $5 into a separate savings account and draw a tracker on a piece of paper. Next, execute step 2. Grab a notebook and brainstorm just one skill you can teach, service you can provide, or physical item you can flip to the market for $100. Finally, execute step 3. Open a zero-fee brokerage account, link it to your checking, and automate your very first index fund purchase for the next time you get paid. The math works flawlessly every time it is applied. The only dividing line between poverty and permanent financial independence is your willingness to actively build these systems today rather than passively watching someone else do it.